And I believe we are live. Let's just check if we are live on YouTube. I'm not so sure. They've also got the Sean Combs P Diddy trial. But for today, we're doing a UFC breakdown, bets, picks, and we'll be using Bet365. So let's have a look. Can we have a look at Bet365? Let's have a look. We'll be using Bet365 if it loads. Don't think the VPN's on. No, VPN's not off. Let's get this going. Bet365. We're using Bet365 to place our theoretical ACA. So let's go to here. And for some reason, Bet365 isn't loading, so so it is. So let's go across to MMA, UFC Fight Night. It's already there. It's already preloaded, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, for the main event, UFC Fight Night this weekend coming up, we've got Kamaru Usman, who I spoke about in an earlier video. I think that was done yesterday, versus Joaquin Buckley. The young buck versus the old dog in Usman, 38. Not sure how much old Buckley is yet, but why isn't Bet365 loading? But we shall find out. Due course. I might have to use Sky. The only thing with Sky is they want you to sign in, but it's just nothing works with Sky. I'm alive. I'm not so sure. I'm alive. 1 second, folks. Let me go on, check if we're streaming, because I'm not so sure if we're streaming. So let's have a look. View channel on YouTube. And yes, we're live. I'm alive. I can hear the echo. Yep, fantastic. So if I mute that, does my face come on? I'll minimize that. See, how do I get my face? How do I get this? In the bottom of the screen. See, this is all very new to me still. But how do I get my face? Just in the bottom of the screen. So have I got to... how do I do that? If anybody knows, leave a comment below, because how do I get this video footage here of me just in the bottom of the screen? Not so sure. Unlock. However, not to worry. But yeah, Bet365 isn't playing ball, so should we go to Skybet? And from there, we'll try and do an ACA for this weekend's fight. Oh God, does anything work? Everything wants you to sign in and join. So let's allow the cookies. Let's click that. Right. Fantastic. So let's go to the sports. I believe with Sky, it's going to be, yep, UFC and MMA. And I checked this out earlier. I cannot believe the odds. I know that Usman is 38, but Usman, again, we're going to go over his last 3 fights. He's lost his last 3 fights, but Usman is an absolute dog. I mean, he's 2-1 against Joaquin Buckley, who's got a puncher's chance, in my opinion. Very good fighter. I think he's on a 6 or 7 fight winning streak, but not against the caliber of people that Usman's fought. Let's be honest about it. However, he's knocked down everybody that that's gone in front of him, Buckley. So he's decent, but he can be sparked out. We've seen him get knocked out on a couple of occasions. In one of my previous videos this week, I showcased him getting sparked out by Kevin Holland, no less. Less power and all that. The newsman, less power than newsman, shall we say. But anyway, let's go back. Let's have a look at Kamaru Usman. I think we'll start. Should we start with the... Let's start with the main event. Or should we start lower down? Let's start lower down. It's normally 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe. These are the main events. So you got Mansour Abdul Malik versus Cody Branage. So we'll start with the main event. We'll do the main event there. And let's have a look. View matchup. So we got Mansour. He's on a 3-fight winning streak. Mansour. We will preview the matchup in a minute. 29, one's 29, one's 28. Let's go to preview the matchup. Let's have a look. Tail off the tape. Let's have a look. So Mansour Abdul Malik versus Cody is it Brundage? I think it's Brundage. 8 wins for Mansour, 11 no defeats, no draws. 11 wins for Cody, 6 defeats and 1 no contest. There. Let's see if we can get that a bit bigger. Zoom in a bit. There we go. Zoom in a bit. Let's go. And we'll do there is a 3-year difference between these guys. Strikes landed, most significant strikes landed per minute. Bloody hell, his output is high. Mansour Abdul Malik, 5.29 compared to Cody Brundage, 2.14. Striking accuracy is 54%. 54%, I mean, it's relatively quite low considering, although it's all relative, I bet. Yeah, it's all relative really, isn't it? It's about right, isn't it? Strikes absorbed per minute, 3.84, nearly the same really. 2.98 for Cody. Defense 49%, 42%, again around about the same. The grappling, takedowns over 15 minutes. So obviously Cody here is a stronger. We got Mansour, who's the better or stronger striker of the two, and we got Cody, who's obviously the grappler of the two. Takedowns per 15 minutes, 2 takedowns, 2.15 takedown. Takedown accuracy is 47%. So basically, it takes down every takedown is 1 and 2 basically. If it tries to take down 2 takedowns, he'll get 1. Takedown defense, and this is good, 68% compares to Cody, 68% compared to Mansour, who's at 82% for his takedown defense. Now that's impressive. Submission average 0. He's got no submission on his record, Mansour, and it looks like Cody has 1 by the looks of it, 0.9. Most recent fights, news first. We got Mansour versus, I think that's Ludovic Klein, I believe. Todorovic and Schultz, and obviously Mansour looks like he's only had 3 fights in the UFC, 8 professional fights, 3 fights in the UFC. We have Cody. He's got a few fights. He's won his last fight against Marquez. He's got a no contest against Razamek. Stop. That's my dog wanted to play. We'll be taking her out shortly. It has been raining outside. He's got a loss against Bo Nickel. I mean, obviously the Bo Nickel fights, they're all rigged in favour for Bo Nickel when they was trying to bring it up. But obviously, he's obviously been fraud check. Bo Nickel, great wrestler, not a great fighter. That's the difference. And he's got a win against Malkoon. So yeah, it's a tricky one. Tail of the tape. It's a tricky one. Average fight time 6 minutes 41. Wow. So in his 3 fights in the UFC, his average fight time is 6 minutes. So basically, just goes past one round, basically, judging by that. They've got an orthodox stance, and 6'2" versus 6 foot, about the same. I mean, it looks pretty even. It looks pretty even, but you know, this guy's had 3 wins in a row. I mean, that's confidence, isn't it? Really, Mansour. So let's put him into topology. Let's put that, copy that, and let's stick him into topology where I've got Kamara Usman. So let's get rid of that. And we'll type in Mansour in here. Do a search. Click the fighter. The US national. Wouldn't have thought so. So that's Mansour Abdul Malik. And obviously he's had, it looks like these are the events that he's had. 2025 PFL. Oh, no. These are events put on by Topology, showcasing other events in MMA. Fantastic. So, yeah, Yassin Mansour Ibn Abdul Malik, affiliation, MMA Masters, University of Maryland. So, this, here we go. There we go. Submission, 13% of his wins. He's had 1 win, 0 losses in terms of submissions. He's had 7 wins, no losses, 88% wins. Doesn't say he's had any TKOs in terms of wins. It just says wins there. Hang on. Yes, it does. So let's go back up. This website's not playing ball for me today. Let's go back up. So what we're saying, UFC contender. He's had 1 win in the UFC contender. He's had Legacy Fighting Alliance. He's had 1 win, and obviously he's had 2 wins proper in the UFC. Obviously, that UFC contender counts as that, the UFC, because obviously, Dana White's Contender Series, that counts as him being in the UFC because it's the same organization. So knockout sub. Oh, okay, so his 2 wins have come by way of knockout in the UFC. He had 1 knockout win in the Legacy Fighting Alliance, and he's had 1 knockout win in Dana White's Contender Series. So, he's doing well. So, obviously, this Cody guy, it looks like he's a bit of a gatekeeper, right? So, let's go back to Cody Brundage, and it looks like he might be a little bit of a gatekeeper here, as I alluded to with his fight versus Bo Nickel. They usually put those guys in there for Bo Nickel to tear apart, basically, because they wanted to steamroll him, build him as the next great American icon. And it just didn't work out because obviously Bo Nickel got knocked out by a Formula 1 champion. Is it the Riddler or the Riddler? Very good fighter. Yeah, very good fighter, the Riddler. Anyway, let's go back to Topology and check out Cody's losses, and as to why he's facing Mansour. So let's have a look. If we can get back to the top of the page, it's a bit sluggish. There we go. Speed it up that way. So let's paste in Cody's name here. Do a search, bring it up. But I think I'll be going for Mansour by the looks of it. I'll be going for Mansour. So if I go to Sky and I go to, let's go back. We're not going to touch the preliminaries. We're just going to go for the main event, and which I believe is going to start here. Alonzo Menifield. So we're going to start there, and we're going to select. Oh, look at that. So basically, we're going for a knockout then. So Mansour Abdul Malik versus Cody Brandage. Brandage is 5-1. As I said, Brandage he's a bit of a gatekeeper, isn't he? Let's be honest about it. Yeah. And obviously, Mansour is on a bit of a tear. Now, it's got Mansour Abdul Malik to win by TKO in the first round. Now, remember, the percentage of his fights usually goes, he's got an average of 6 minutes, 50-something seconds for his fights. So he's a knockout artist, basically, in the first round. Very, very rarely, in his last 3 fights, very, very rarely has gone to the second round. So, I mean, he's got the reach as well over him. It's massive. He's a striker. So, I mean, Cody's best chance is basically to utilize his grappling, isn't it? Basically, he's got to utilize this grappling over this. But his takedown defense, his takedown accuracy, Cody, is 47% versus the guys whose takedown defense doubles that. So, I'd expect Mansour to rebut those takedown accuracy of Cody Brandage. So, I mean, if I have to pick, which I am going to pick, I'm going to say Mansour round one. Mansour round one. Right? If I have to pick. So we'll leave that there. That's added. I don't think we have to go any further. With this. Mansour round one. Right. So if we go back to UFC stats, and we'll go to the next fight, which is one of my favorite fighters, Cody Garbrandt. Excellent fighter. But yeah, last fight was a loss. His last fight was a loss. And yeah, his last fight was a loss. But prior to that, so let's go to matchup preview. See if we can get a proper breakdown. But yeah, Cody Garbrandt is one of my personal favorite fighters. He does, however, let himself down sometimes by fighting with pure emotions. You know, he goes in there with a game plan, and if he sticks to this game plan, this guy could have been champion. You know, a champion for a long time if he stuck to his game plan, but he doesn't stick to his game plan because he gets drawn into the fist fights, and then his game plan goes out the window, and then it's like a 50-50. But he's great. Yeah, he's the younger of the two. So obviously the UFC are thinking here, no, yeah, he's the younger of the two. So the UFC here are obviously thinking, let's get this guy back on track. Born in 1991, so basically he is 34, I believe, if my maths is right. But yeah, so he's obviously a striker. Rayoni Barcelos, it's a bit of a mouthful. He's obviously he's obviously a striker as well. Significant strikes landed. 5.11. Holy. So it should be a nice firefight then, basically. Versus Cody, which is a 2.98. But he goes for power. His output is not outrageous, but when he strikes, he lands. The accuracy, 40% accuracy as opposed to Rayoni, which is a 53% strikes absorbed per minute. He's taking less damage in fights than Rayoni, and his defense, they're both equal, and the defense 60% defense. Grappling, obviously, Cody's not a grappler; he's a striker through and through. But it looks like Rayoni's got some grappling experience. Takedown accuracy 34%, versus 37%. Takedown defense 80%. So they're both pretty good. So we're not expecting this fight to get to the ground then. With that outrageous output of 5.11 strikes landed per minute, and then 2.98 landed. Now, Dog's trying to get on the sofa, but the missus doesn't want you on the sofa, does she? You've got your chair over there. And submission, yeah, looks like he's probably just had one submission victory, Raoni. Most recent fight is a loss to Figueiredo, but losing to Figueiredo is not that bad, to be honest with you. Losing to Figueiredo, you know, Davis Figueiredo is a former champion in the division below, I believe. So it's not that bad losing to Figueiredo. Then he's had 2 wins prior to the Figueiredo loss against Kelleher and Jones. Then he lost to Kai Kara France. I mean, that's not a bad loss either. Kai Kara France is elite. He's an elite fighter. Great fighter. And he lost to Rob Font. Again, Rob Font is a very good fighter as well. They're all very good. But Raoni's coming in on a 2-fight winning streak. He's one against Talbot, one against Kunez, lost against Phillips, lost against Nurmagomedov. Should know this. Probably part of the Khabib Nurmagomedov. Can you ever say that? Lineage, probably part of their camp, their family. And he's had a win against Jones. Not sure who Jones is, but let's have a look at topology. We know about Cody. We know how good he is. We know, him toying with Dominic, what's his face? The UFC commentator, our former bantamweight GOAT, toying with him, just tearing him apart, making him look silly and slow. He did some damage to Dominic there. Let's have a look. So if we go to topology, put in Cody, paste that in, do a search. This website's really, really slow. Really, really slow. Cody No Love, yep, that's the one. Got a PFL event starting in 9 hours, starting tonight. PFL 2025 World Tournament starts in 9 hours. Wow. UAE Warriors 60 starts in 21 hours. And obviously, you got UFC Fight Night in 2 days, essentially. UFC, PFL on a Thursday night. Okay. I'll take it. So going back to Cody. It's part of Team Alpha Male, which I think is Uriah Faber. He's I think he owns it, or he runs it. Won't look into that today, but current MMA streak, 1 loss, nicknames No Love, Cody Garbrandt. Yeah, excellent fighter, one of my personal favorites fighter, and there's no doubt I'll be backing him to come out on top. Absolutely backing Cody to come out on top. Just go and look at his statistics pretty quick. I'm just going to track this down. Just so much quicker. So he's had a couple of cancelled bouts in the UFC in 2024, October and November 2024. Confirmed fight coming up. Hopefully this one goes ahead. Bear in mind his last 2 fights hasn't gone ahead. Both times versus Mars John. Not sure what's happened there. Like I said, Davison Figueiredo, it's not a bad loss. Davison Figueiredo is a former champion, and this guy is elite. He knows how to fight. He knows how to stand, trade, submit, and obviously he submitted Cody. Brian Kelleher, he had a fight versus Mario Bautista. Now, I wouldn't mind him running that fight with Mario Bautista because that bout was cancelled, so I wouldn't mind him doing that, actually. That'll be an interesting fight. Bautista now, he seems to think he's world level. Kai Kara France, obviously, great fighter. I mentioned that. Rob Font, excellent fighter as well. Listen, one of my favourite fighters is Cody Garbrandt. There's no doubt. I'll be picking him, and I'll be picking him for a knockout. It's not a decision fighter. If you look at his record, let's have a look here. So MMA record by the promotion in the UFC since 2015 can be okay. 2015 to 2024 is 9 wins, right? And he's had 3 decisions. 67% of those wins of the 9 has come by way of knockout. 3 decisions. So I mean that's pretty high, isn't it? And that's from 2015 to 2024. So let's have a look at. So let's try and be a bit fair because we wasn't as fair in the last pick, and we're going to go to Raoni Barcelos, all right? And we're going to stick him into because he's up there fighting Cody. So he's obviously made the grade because Cody is up there considered as one of the best, one of the elite strikers, one of the elite fighters in the UFC in his weight category. So let's go. Why isn't it working? Here we go. So let's do that. We might have to do a part 2 of the breakdown. So let's have a look. Tracking that. Let's select the fighter. There's only one. Raoni Barcelos, bantamweight. It's Brazilian national. MMA record of 19, 5 defeats, age 38. Right, here we go. So pro MMA statistics, he's got 19 wins, 5 defeats, 8 wins. He's been knocked out once, and he's had 8 wins by knockout. Him himself's been sparked out once. He's had 8 wins by knockout. Submission is at three submission victories. Doesn't say who it's against. Submission in the first round. Sorry, he's had 3 wins. 1 submission victory in the first round by the looks of that. And he's had 1 sub in the second round. That's a loss by the looks of it. Decisions, he's had 8 wins, 8 decision wins and 3 losses. Been on the back end of 2 unanimous decision losses, 1 split majority. Okay, now to it. This 1 sub in the third round, 1 sub in the second, and 1 sub in the first. Okay, fantastic. It's a good website. This is Topology. Excellent. I keep remember to drag in this bit. So in the UFC, he's had 8 wins and 4 losses. Right? He's had 2 wins via knockout, 2 wins via subs, and 4 wins via decision. So he's obviously in it for the long haul. So it'd be a good test for Cody actually because he seems like he's well-rounded. He's had 8 wins in the UFC. It looks like he's absolutely well-rounded. So it should be a really good test actually for Cody Garbrandt. But I'm going with my man Cody. I mean, he's beaten that Peyton Talbot, who was hyped as the next big thing. Decision lost over him. Decision victory over that Peyton Talbot. Obviously, he's got Cody coming up. Christian Cunez, who's a decent fighter, beat him with a rear naked choke. And Carla Phillips, he lost to him via that's in 2023. He lost to him via unanimous decision. And then, it was Umar Nurmagomedov. Lost via left hook. So he's actually fought some decent caliber fighter then. Oh, right. Okay. So lost to him by a left knockout. Again, it's not a bad thing because Umar is very good. Not as good as Merab, but he's very good nonetheless. See, somebody like Cody, I think, could touch Merab. Somebody like Cody, with his power, his speed, is that check left hook he's got, and check right hook. Somebody like him could catch Merab. And I love Merab. I think Merab is an animal. Absolute animal. But yeah, again, tough fight. But so if we go back to Sky, we go back 1. It's a tough fight, but I think I'm gonna go with rounds for this one, and I say if it's available, I'd go over 1.5 rounds if it's available. Not sure if it's available though. Sky, that's up for bet 365. Total rounds. There we go. There we go. See, I would go with over 1.5 rounds just to be on the safe side because they're both knockout artists, but the other guy looks like he can be quite durable as well, and he can bang and he can trade. So I don't think he's going to finish in the first round. I don't think he's going to finish in the first round, but I'm going to go because I do favour Cody to win. However, you got to be sensible here. Cody is a 5-4. Obviously, that was bumped the odds up. Riona is actually the favourite. The older man is the favourite. Um, I would actually favour I would actually favour going via rounds with this one. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go and do a 1.5 round. I think that's the best. I think that's the best bet actually in this fight. If you want to do a side bet, if I was to do a side bet of maybe, I don't know, 3 and a lump, picking 3 fights and a lump, I would fancy the 5.4, 5/4 odds for Cody, personally. But I think the sensible thing is a 1.5 rounds. I think they'll trade, they'll trade, they'll trade. And I think the fight will probably be over in the second round. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, I'll go for that one. Right, so let's go back one, and we're going to go to the next fight. Like I said, folks, I might have to do a part 2. I might have to do a part 2 in this one. Right, so obviously the Diddy trial's on, which I am interested in that. It's been fantastic listening to the crazy life of celebrities. But yeah, so let's go back to the UFC stats and we'll go to the next fight. So, I mean, like I said, if I was to maybe do a lump bet, a big bet, a whale bet, as the Americans say, a shark bet, I'd pick Cody in this. Right. But we're sticking to 1.5 rounds. Needed to get to the second round, and then that's it. It's in the bag. Right. Let's go back to the fight night. And we're going to go to Andre Petroski versus Edmen Shabazalan. It's a middleweight fight. Now, I'm not too familiar with both these guys, but, they're in the main event. So, yeah, I have no idea about these guys, what to do. Strike rate, takedown defense, sub event. Let's go to the matchup preview. So let's have a look. Both over 6 foot, 6'2" is Edmen, 6 is Andre. Orthodox switch, so he's got orthodox and southpaw stance. Striking significant strikes. Strike landed per minute 3.78 as opposed to 2.89 for Andre. Striking accuracy, they're both at 50% strikes absorbed per minute. 385, 265, it's quite similar. And the defense is pretty much similar. Right, let's pause that. Gotta take this call. Hello? Hello? Yeah, you're right, son. Yeah. What? Yeah. Somebody stole your coat. What did it have in it? What coat was it? Excellent. Well, if you go back to the gym, okay, what to say? You pretty sure it's for what? Oh, okay. Was on the armor house. But nothing else been taken with the key. You left the keys. Yeah. So did you not keep in all your bags, or you just like? Also, somebody stored it out in the locker. Also, the lockers are locked. All right. So somebody you walked back to the locker, and then you came back and it was open. Yeah. Yeah. So the locker was open. Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to how did it open the locker? But that's not good, is it? And the best thing to do when you're training is keep your things with you. But you know now, keep your things with you. And you should have, yeah, you shouldn't have to. But there's people out there who wants all that. It's obviously, you know. So you report it after taking your phone number. Yeah. Okay. So what did it say? I'll padlock the key. Yeah. Well, I mean, the cameras in the gym, so all they have to do is check the cameras. So, yeah. Yeah, but what I'm saying, yeah, but there's still cameras around the place to capture people outside with the locker in. Oh, it's in the locker room. Oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah. Well, now you know. Don't use the gym lockers. Just don't do it. When I go to the gym, I keep everything by me. Well, I take minimal stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Well, next time, just take what you have, and I'll keep it right next to you. Okay. The problem, if it's in the locker room, they're going to have a clue who's taking it. So look at me. What? Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that doesn't help you at the moment. Luckily, it's just a code. Don't use the locker room. Don't ever carry your phone or anything to the gym. Ever. When you're working out, if you're going to take your clothes off, have your foot next to you. Put it on the floor next to you, and then when you move it with you. Okay. But that code's gone. They're not going to do anything about it. All right. Okay. Well, if they get back to us, then great. But if it's in the locker room, then they ain't got a clue who's done it. So don't worry about it. It's gone. Just you learn from it. Okay. All right. Bye bye. Oh, sorry about that, folks. My son has rang me to say he's just come back from the gym. Well, been into the gym, and they've stolen his coat from the gym. Absolute low lives. 17-year-old kid, and you got people at the gym stealing stuff. Wow. I would say I'm shocked, but I'm not. Um, Folks, we're going to leave it there. I'll do a part two maybe later or tomorrow. Unbelievable. Ciao. Gina and Diddy were very toxic, and he started to bring that home to her.
And we also saw text messages where they got in a fight because he had gotten Gina a necklace and she posted it on social media publicly, and Diddy got upset